What's up guys, Nepenthes here and welcome back to another episode of the best team in FIFA. Today's episode is brought to you by me. That's right, today I'm going to be showing you a team that I'm going to use this weekend league. A team full of players that I know do well and that should do well. My results on Weekend League recently have been very indifferent. I've literally over the last 5 weeks I've gone Elite 3, Gold 1, Elite 3, Gold 1, Elite 3. I've been struggling to find any kind of like consistency, and I'm hoping that by drawing back using players that I want to use because I've got them, I'm hoping that I'll be able to do a lot better in a weekend league this weekend. My aim for this weekend coming, I'm going to set myself like a near unachievable target of 34 wins. I want to get Elite 1, dudes. I want to hit that Elite 1 rank for only the second time ever. And to do that, I've got a team that I think is going to be beasting. Now, this team, guys, has a very weird value because it doesn't really have a value other than 2 players. I've got 9 untradeable players here. Some of them you can buy from the market. Some of them you can't buy from the market. And I'm going to show you how well this team plays, my formation, my instructions, and so on and so forth. But if you guys want to submit your favourite teams to the best team in FIFA, go to reddit.com/r/TBTIF and you can put in your team, your formation, your instructions, your custom tactics, your, any in-game changes, any subs, anything you want, you can put in there, break it down to me, and then throughout the next few weeks, because we're slowing down on the pack-only road to glory, there won't be much more of that uploaded now going forwards. I'm going to be making more room for the best team in FIFA, basically. With that being said, let me show you. I am starting with the 4-3-2-1. Let me show you first of all, I'll give you guys the first 2 players that you can buy, and then potential replacements if you can't afford them. So the first player that you can buy is going to be David De Gea, and the second player that you can buy is going to be Ogbonna. This Ogbonna card for me is phenomenal. I paid 105,000 coins for him. Looks like he's around, oh wow, even cheaper, 95k. There you go, guys. I recommend him so heavily, dudes. 84 pace, 87 defending, medium-high work rate, 6'3" tall. You can see I've got 43 games with him. I love him. Some people might want to put Smalling or Bailly in here. For me personally, it is Ogbonna. I'll tell you what I'll do for the value of the team as well. I'll take the most valuable player that is similar to the player that you can buy, and I'll explain that as we go forwards. So we got David De Gea. I think he's about 100,000 coins, I believe. I bought him for 93,000 coins. Wow, he's down at 80, maybe even 80, 70k. That's amazing. So that's very, very good indeed for David De Gea and Ogbonna. Boom, no problem at all. That's our first set of defence. Now, in at right back, guys, this is where I get stuck and why I cost myself wins quite constantly. For the best team in FIFA here, I'm using Hector Bellerin. However, quite often I use Coleman, and I'll show you why I use Coleman. One of the reasons why I use Coleman is because his stats are actually head and shoulders above Bellerin. More shooting, more passing, more dribbling, way more defending and physical, but that 14 less pace is damaging. And I know it's so weird because with the Shadow Chem style, he goes up to like 95 pace, right? Which is only just short of Bellerin, but for some reason, Bellerin just feels better. So we've got Hector Bellerin at right back. So what I'll do for the value of for the title of the video, I'll take Bellerin's 81 rated Screamer card, and we'll take the value of that as the value of the SBC card here. And then our other centre-back, which is a player that you can buy, and I believe for quite cheap as well on the market, and that's Winston Reid's Inform. For me, this card is just phenomenal. As you can see, I've played nearly 300 games with it. Again, I love his pace, defending and physical is so good. Some people would say, why not Smalling? Why not Bailly? I don't know why not. For me personally, it comes down to who I prefer. And when you compare Chris Smalling to Reid, Smalling has 2 more pace points, but less defending and less physical. Of course, Smalling 6'4" medium high, but also Winston Reid 6'3" medium high. So I've got 2 6'3" centre backs that are both medium high work rates. Absolutely perfect. The pace in this defence is frightening. And then in at left back, we have got Marcos Alonso, Now, I use his 83 version because I've got the red variant of that. However, now that he's just got an 85 card come out as well, I will absolutely be upgrading for this weekend to the 85 Alonso. What do I love about Alonso? As you can see, 324 games, high work rate, 6'2", 3-star, 3-star. As far as a fullback goes, again, he doesn't quite have the pace of Hector Bellerin or potential, Gael Clichy or other left backs that you might use here. But for me, he's sensational. He's the best left back I've used in the game this year. The only person that I'd say is better than him is Team of the Year Marcelo, in my experience. So these are the guys that I use in my defence. Now, as with anyone, your traditional instructions for defenders, everyone is just set to stay back while attacking. That is the lot. Now, in the midfield, guys, I've got a few interesting counterparts here. So let's go special BPL, because I've got some, I'll build the whole midfield all together. First up, Can, then Firmino, and then Dele Alli. Yes, I'm the kind of guy that uses Costa and Kane as centre midfielders, but in this instance, this is our whole midfield. Of course, Roberto Firmino has a better version of his card, but we'll take the value of his 85 because that's what I'm using. I love this card. A lot of people suggest Paul Pogba, right? And what I say is this. Paul Pogba is very, very expensive, even for his regular gold card. When you compare his stats to Firmino of his regular gold cards, less pace, less shooting, less passing, less dribbling. Yes, he has more physical, more defending. But for me, Firmino in the centre midfielder is my attacking midfielder. The other thing that Pogba has that's obviously more beneficial is he's 6'3", 4-star, 5-star. Whereas Firmino is 5'11", 4-star, 4-star. So he's got one less star in skill moves and is a little bit shorter. But I've used Pogba this year and I've used this Firmino card and I love this card. It's so good. It's so deadly. He gets a goal and or an assist on average every 3 games. Bearing in mind a lot of games he gets subbed on and a lot of games he gets subbed off. It's probably more a situation of about per 90 minutes he probably gets a goal or an assist per 90 minutes. I would say, of FIFA. Next up, we've got Dele Alli, another player I played a lot of games with, 243 games. He's an interesting card because you expect a lot more out of him because of his dribbling, his shooting. He's got, again, like physicals, passing, pace. He's got a little bit of everything. He's 6'2". Yeah, he doesn't have the skill moves, which could be problematic, but his card is so well-rounded and his defending is also quite high that he works in the way that this midfield works. The reason why I've got him over someone like Costa or Kane or anyone else that I've used in midfield or Fernandinho or Kante is because I love how well-rounded his card is. And for his value, we will go and take his highest inform that we can to get a value on him. And for Emre Can, the same. I think we'll take the 85 inform price for the 83 card. Just to give a rough guide of what this team might cost you, because if you want a special I don't recommend the regular Can. So if you don't have SBC Can, you have to buy the 85, right? And Emre Can for me is god tier. When you compare him to someone like Kante, which is obviously everyone's go-to midfielder, when we compare him to the 81 Kante, Emre Can just destroys him everywhere except for pace. And he's taller as well, right? So the only thing Kante has ahead of Can is he's got medium-high work rates as a defensive midfielder. That's kind of what you want. But he's shorter than Can, and Emre Can also has a 4-star weak foot, whereas Kante only has a 3-star weak foot. But he's got less pace than his 81, but more of everything else. Less pace in his 83, but more of everything else. And then Kante's 85, this is where it starts being, okay, these are similar kind of cards. One defending in Kante's favour, 2 physical in Kante's favour. Dribbling the same, 2 passing in Chan's favour, 1 shooting in Chan's favour. And pace is the kind of like the main factor. So for the value of Kante, this Emre Can is great. And of course, Emre Can's inform, which if you don't have the SBC you'd have to buy, is even better still. So this is my midfield. How do we set this midfield up? Well, for player instructions, it is literally just stay back while attacking on all of them. Everything else remains the same. Now, for the attack, guys, we've got probably one of my favourite players, I would say, in the whole of FIFA this year, and that is Eden Hazard. Goes in at left forward. In at right forward spot, we have got Purple Raheem the Dream Sterling. And then in at striker, I've got the new player of the month, who's going to make up, I think, 4 player of the months we have in the game, in the team here, and that is a Romelu Lukaku. This is my team. I've really struggled this year to find the right forward in the BPL. I've used Inform Walcott, who I've got a red version of. I've used Mane, all versions of him, all the way up to his 87 ones to watch card, and it always comes back to Sterling. 536 games, a lot of goals, a lot of assists, and at least 300 of these games as a substitute. Again, if you look at per 90 minutes, he probably gets at least one goal and or assist per 90 minutes. What I love about Sterling is that you don't need to give him a pace chem style. He's got 4-star skill moves. The 2-star weak foot can be a little bit annoying at times, but overall, because he's the only player with a 2-star weak foot in the whole team, you can work around that no problem. His dribbling is great, his pace is great, and although his physical and shooting are relatively low, for some reason, he just puts it in the back of the net. He's just so deadly for me. I absolutely love using him. Eden Hazard, the first player I've got in a long time since FIFA 11, over 1,000 games, 1,027 games, near 950 goal contributions. And again, this is a situation where for a long time, because of like when I bought Ronaldo, for example, Hazard kind of took a backseat. Hazard was a sub on or a sub off quite a lot. So he's probably only completed about 700 games. And he has this kind of return for me, which is amazing. His card is great. He's just got a 94 inform. He's probably going to get a 99 team of the season card. It's going to be exceptional. And I can't wait to use it. I'm very excited. And then Romelu Lukaku, guys. Now, his stats look quite bewildering. 39 goals and 28 assists from 83 games. Now, in hindsight, that's nearly 60 goal contributions out of 83 games, which is good because, once again, I actually played Lukaku as a centre midfielder in the last weekend league quite a lot. I started him off at a striker, and I'd bring him down to centre midfielder so he wouldn't get much game time in front of goal. Yet he still scores and gets an assist, basically one a game. And he gets subbed off a lot as well, just because the 3-star skill moves, if I'm like struggling, because I haven't used him in this team yet, this is like a brand new team that I've built of just players that I've used that I've enjoyed. If I'm struggling and say I need to bring on someone with a bit more guile, I'll swap him out for Suarez because Suarez has got the 4-star. And on my bench, I have got Suarez, Torres and Nainggolan, and Torres is just unreal. His goal to games are dropping a little bit for me now because I've been using him as a substitute. But in general, these are my 3 subs. What this allows me to do with these subs, guys, is to change to any formation that I want. Because if I go 4-1-2-1-2, I can bring Nainggolan on at CDM. If I go 4-2-3-1, I can have Nainggolan and Chan as the CDMs. If I go for like a 4-3-1-2, I can put Lukaku and Torres up front and Suarez in at cam and then bring off the 2 small wingers because I need the physicality up front. Like, this bench and this team literally allows you to adapt to any formation in game at any time that you want, which is awesome. So this is the team. What do I do for my attackers, guys? Well, player instruction for the attackers: drift wide on my 2 wide men, get in behind, press back line, and then for Lukaku, stay central, get in behind and press back line. That is the setup for the team, guys. And then for the custom tactics, it's pretty much default, right? I've moved the shooting up and I've moved the speed up. Everything else is the same, and I've changed cover. If I reset, all I do here, this is like the default strategy. Cover, I put my shooting up to 80, I put my speed up to 70, and that's what I do. That's my custom tactics. So this is the team, guys. We're going to go into some Div 1 games right now. Let's go. Okay, guys, so as we go into the gameplay, the first opponent we come up against has got a 186, very nice team. Podolski, Etu, and Abubakar in the attack. Pretty generic midfield and defence, to be fair. Of course, we are playing in Division 1 right now, and what better test for FUT champs than Division 1? And unfortunately, this year there is no better test than Division 1. And there are times where D1 can be relatively easy, and times where it can be extremely difficult, and we go through both sets of circumstances in the gameplay today. So what I did in terms of taking this team to a value, with the bench, this team is 4.5 million on PlayStation and 3.5 million on Xbox, and that would be buying the 94 Inform Suarez, which I wouldn't even say you should do because you can get the 94 SBC Suarez for cheaper. That would be buying the 88 Torres instead of having this 91 Torres, and buying the 86 Nainggolan. When you remove those, it drops down to 1.9 million on Xbox and 2.3 million on PlayStation. and that is with regular De Gea, the Screamer Bellerin, inform Reed, the foot birthday Ogbonna, inform Alonso, the 84 inform Dele Alli, the 85 inform Emre Can, the the inform Roberto Firmino, the 89 Romelu Lukaku, and the 90 rated Eden Hazard. And then because Sterling has no alternative for that right-hand side, I went and got the 84 Walcott for a value that you could use. If you don't have that Sterling, for example, I would recommend using the Inform Walcott. So it comes in at like 1.9 million. Of course, if you've got any of the SBC cards, that reduces the price. And if you've got any other players that you prefer to use instead, that would reduce the price. But the whole point of building this team was to see if I could potentially take this into FUT Champs and have a good time with it. I've been experimenting with a lot of teams recently through FUT Champs and through divisions, and of course this is on my Road to Glory account, right? This isn't like my main account or anything. This is my Road to Glory squad, so it's not like it's unbelievable that people could have all of these players either. And there were a few players like that even in this team I was unbelievably impressed with. One of them being Romelu Lukaku. The dude is just a monster, as well as Eden Hazard. Raheem Sterling scored a very important goal in this game actually to put me 3-2 up. You can see here on the pitch again, Sterling gets the ball to Torres. Torres' finishing is just next level. That beautiful little drag back past the defender in the box puts us 5-2 up. So our first Division 1 game, guys, and we end up winning 5-2. A little bit disappointed that I conceded 2 goals. Just my fault on both goals. Just really poor defending both ends. You can see there from the team plays really well. And you can see again that I still moved Romelu Lukaku down into central midfield so that I could put Torres at striker. There were sometimes I brought Torres on for Sterling and played him at right forward. And sometimes I brought him on at striker and put Lukaku down into the midfield. Because of Lukaku's medium work rates, he actually makes a very good midfielder. Our next opponent, guys, is called the Justice League. He has got a red inform, which means he is a FUT Champs player. He gets himself Royce, Aubameyang and Bale, Rodriguez, Robben in at centre midfield, way off chem, like 3 chemistry. Not that I think that's a problem either. Carlos Tevez there and a pretty generic defence. And this was an interesting game because what we'll experience, the game that I just won 5-2, the opponent was quite good. This guy, I honestly don't know how he's playing against me in divisions. If there is matchmaking, it's horrendous because this guy was not good. Like, I don't mean to sound like arrogant or cocky, but this guy wasn't a Division 1 tier player. He wasn't good enough. He really was bad actually. Maybe he was just having a bad game. Maybe he had speed up lag or input delay. You know, maybe there was some extremities that were going on that were out of his control that were causing him to perform worse than he potentially does. But this game, it just was easy. And actually, after I went 2-0 up, just before half time, I went 3-0 up. Just after half-time, you'll see here we get Bellerin down the right-hand side, a nice throw-in into Fernando Torres, Torres into Lukaku. Lukaku shields very well, plays into Nainggolan to Can, back to Lukaku, tries to touch the ball, ends up falling to Suarez, who gets tackled, and it goes back to Lukaku, and Lukaku scores. After this goal, guys, I ended up getting a red card with Ogbonna. Deserved red card. I just lunged in for a tackle that I didn't mean to press, like, the tackle button, but I did press it, and it was deserved red card. And I still managed to get through and get another goal. Beautiful goal from Lukaku there. His finishing is absolutely spectacular. Low drivens, finesse shots, driven shots, like long range, short range. He's got it all. And then we go and get a 5th goal again with 10 men here. Luis Suarez getting into the gap, plays it into Fernando Torres. Torres uses the bait of Lukaku there, eventually cuts on the inside, gets it to Lukaku. I had a few chances where I could have taken a shot with Torres, but I'm trying not to force feed goals to players, and we end up winning 5-0 after getting Ogbonna sent off. So a huge performance from the boys there. 5-2 in game 1, 5-0 in game 2. The next 2 games that we played, guys, were against exceptional opponents. And game number 1 of the final 2, as we got a win there, of course, 6 points now in Division 1 with this team. Game number 1 was against a guy with a 4-1-2-1-2, Carrasco, Felipe Luis, 91 Torres. He's got the 90 Cavani, a legend Davor Suker, Draxler, Aurier, a really strong team. And he was a viewer, and he messaged me afterwards. We had a little chat afterwards. He got 27 wins in FUT Champs last week, where I only got 29 myself. So a very competitive game against a guy with a very good team. This was a good test for me to see how this team would do at FUT Champs and whether we can consider this the best team in FIFA, because this opponent was quite clearly a very strong opponent. He ends up getting a lucky break there to get the first goal. A long shot from about 20 yards out there with Draxler. It hits my defender and launches off into the goal. But it didn't take me too long to get back into the game. I go down the right-hand side here with Raheem Sterling, and I really do like Raheem Sterling. His dribbling, look at this like crab walking. It's ridiculous that it's in the game. But he gets around everyone, into Lukaku, Lukaku into Firmino, and what a finish that was. Finesse shot into the top right-hand corner. I try that shot quite a few times when it's the only thing on, and it doesn't usually do that. So I was very happy that we managed to get the ball in there. Lukaku there getting the fake shot into Firmino and just bends it around the keeper just inside the post. And then into the second half, I started to take a little bit more control of the game. I ended up with a lot more possession than my opponent and quite a few more opportunities as well. We've got Roberto Firmino again down the right-hand side here. Lovely little bit of skill dribbling and crab walking into Dele Alli. Dele Alli into Emre Can. He's got the run of Lukaku, but tries to pump it himself. And pump it he does indeed. 2-1. Emre Can picking up a goal there. He's the worst of the three in midfield for shooting, yet he's scored an absolute thunderbolt there. I did have the opportunity to pass it through to Lukaku, which I declined, and thankfully I did. I ended up going on to win that game 2-1 against the old tribal baboon. You can see I had 59% possession, double the shots on target, and the same passing. So against a very, very competitive opponent, I ended up picking up a strong win there, which showed me a lot about FUT Champs. And then the last game, guys, we come up against a really good team, a very meta team. Smalling, Ramos, Suarez, Dembele, Neymar, Pogba, Kante. Your traditional FUT Champs team. And this guy here, he was also a viewer, or is also a viewer, messaged me afterwards. He got 36 wins this past weekend on FUT Champs, and indeed lost 2 of his 4 losses to penalties. So this is a top 100 caliber player. It was going to be a phenomenal test for me and this team as to whether or not it was able to hang with the big boys. And what happened was we ended up taking a 1-goal deficit almost straight off the kickoff. Lovely bit of work from Raheem Sterling again. Dele Alli into Hazard, back into Sterling. Beautiful pass to Hazard. Finesse shot from the top of the box. And 1-1 is not only the goal that tied the game up, it was the final goal of the game. So this team showed me through the last couple of games more specifically that absolutely this team is a very strong contender for the best team in FIFA and could potentially see me picking up 32, 34, hopefully more, you know, hopefully not less than 30 or 32 wins in this week's FUT Champions. But this, guys, is going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.